a notorious hacker by FOX Boston, world-class hacker by National Geographic Breakthrough Series, paunchy hacker by Rolling Stone magazine. Please welcome on the stage, Jayson.
I did some great wandering around the city and not going into jail, but I had a friend helping me with that, so I greatly appreciated it. Loved it. It's like it was really awesome to see some of the sites, and I bought way too much at the anime shop, but no regrets. So I'm happy to be here. I want to start off with my legal disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer, okay, but I played one on the internet successfully. What this means is when I go and when I'm talking about some of the things I'm going to be doing, and you see some of the video, you're going to be like, "You're a horrible person, Jayson. I didn't know this." Remember the kittens, okay? I'm adorable. I will never try to steal from you, kill you, or ruin you financially unless you pay me first. There's always a contract. So when you see all those bad things, just remember the kittens. So we're gonna go right here. Yeah, that's boring. Motorcycle, speaking, reporting. I love to travel. I rob banks, and I love playing No Man's Sky. And if you want to know more about me, my wiki page is there at the top. Where I've been is in the middle, and my diary or live journal is on Twitter. So feel free to check it out, or not. It's okay. So the thing that infuriates me the most when talking to information security people is the same old message. Humans are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's lazy for information security. That is an easy out for information security, to blame the user. Stupid user clicked on a link. Stupid user went to a website. Stupid information security didn't properly train their users. There is a patch for human stupidity. It's called education. It's like, but we're not doing it. It's like we would rather invest in technology instead of investing in our users to educate them, and then using technology as a safety net instead of a barrier. And that is one of our biggest problems, which we're gonna see in just a second. So, and I love this part here where you go, this is what you always hear when you talk about hacking. It's like, if I can just overclock the Unix to Django, I can basic the DDoS root. Darn, no dice. But wait, if I just disencrypt their kilobytes with the backdoor handshake, then jackpot. I've seen basically stuff like that on television, okay? But it really is, hi, this is Robert Hackerman. I'm the county password inspector. Hi, Bob, how can I help you today? And trust me, it's way easier than that. It's like so, and we're gonna see that in a little bit. Because everybody wants to say APT. Does everybody here raise your hand? Did you know that Uber just got hacked? Like literally just a few hours ago, Uber's like totally been pwned. Their whole corporation right now is totally in shambles on the infrastructure side. And the hacker that is claiming responsibility is 18 years old. And he said, or they said, that they started it with a social engineering attack on the user. That's bad. So, but you know the CEO of Uber is going to be saying, we were a victim of APT. Because that's what CEOs tell the public and their shareholders, so they don't realize that they got popped by a spear phishing email. Because really, what APT stands for is adequate phishing technique. That is what APT is. It's like, but I don't do APT. There's nothing advanced or persistent or threatening about me. I do bad. I'm just basic, adorable destruction. That's all I do. I don't care what kind of company you are. I don't care where you're located. I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna try to F you up the worst possible way I can. I'm gonna be the worst thing to happen to you at the worst possible time in the worst possible way. I'm really great at parties, but it's like, but yeah, that's how I roll. It's like, I don't care if you're PCI compliant. I don't care if you're following the policy organizational standards. That doesn't matter to me. It's like, what can I do to destroy you? It's like, and because you know why I do it that way? Because every person trying to attack you is trying to do it that way. Instead of trying to check for vulnerabilities like a developer or a defender, you need to start doing it like someone who is trying to mess with you. So let's start an example. I would like to thank Ernst & Young for being my volunteer for this demo. No, they did not give me permission, nor do I care. It's like, I tried to get a job for Ernst & Young over 20 years ago, but because I'm a high school dropout and I had no college, they're like, we don't think you're talented enough, Jayson. And I'm petty, and I hold a grudge. So, hi, Ernst & Young. Let's see what we can do. Ernst & Young is one of the top 4 auditors in the world for security and policies and all that stuff, so that's great. So let's go after Ernst & Young. Well, I went to the Ernst & Young place in New York, and they weren't very nice to me anyway when I was doing a class, so we're going to go after the Ernst & Young in New York group. But I'm going to attack them, but how do I attack them is what counts. I'm going after their building. I'm sure their networks are nice and hardened. I'm sure that all their networks are very secured. So I'm going to walk in because that's how I roll. I do what I do, and that's what I do. So I need to find out where their headquarters are. Their Ernst & Young headquarters is at 5 Times Square. I mean, look at that shiny little name on the building. It's like 5 Times Square. It's like, but you don't see that on the building. You see that on the website. When you're walking through Times Square, you see Ernst & Young. Very, very fancy, very nice. But who runs that building? Because you know Tony Stark has the Stark building in New York, right? That looks like really fine. It's like he got his name on it, you know. Does he collect the rent? Is he making the Starbucks sure is that they're paying their bills? Is he the one that interviewed the security and the janitorial staff for the building? I don't think so. I mean, give him credit. He was building a empire and, you know, saving the world, and may he rest in peace. That still hurts me too soon. What? Oh, spoiler alert. So also, I'm going to go after the building management. So I got to find out where the building management company is. Well, I did some more Googling with my favorite hacking tool, and what did you know? 5 Times Square is the name of the building management company for 5 Times Square. That was convenient. What is the difference between 5 Times Square and Ernst & Young? Ernst & Young cares about security. They care about auditing. They care about making sure their data is protected and their clients' data is protected. 5 Times Square is interested in selling office space. They are interested in making sure they get people to rent in that building so they make money. You gotta love money. So what are some of the things that they do to help a client realize you want to rent an office space in 5 Times Square? Well, you help out the possible not suspects. Man, watching too much CSI. But it's like you watch it and you want to help out the possible customers or future renters or whatever they're called. Like I told you, I don't speak English very well. And what do you do that? You show them all the attractive dining areas that are right near 5 Times Square. You show them the hotels that are right near 5 Times Square. What other neighbors that they have right near Times Square. Why is that important? Because now I know where your employees eat lunch. They're not going up to uptown, you know, or downtown. They're not going to downtown. You know, they're not going all the way to the waterfront or Wall Street to have lunch. They're good employees. So that means you have lunch right nearby. So you can walk to the restaurant, have your lunch, and come back. So, perfect place to scan some badges, take some pictures of badges, try to see what people are leaving out when they go to Starbucks and put their laptop on the table and then go to the restroom and leave their laptop there. And I'm just like, yoink, and and out. Yeah, basically. So thank you for telling me all the places where my targets are, the employees of Ernst & Young are going to be. And then also the hotels. All your wonderful guests and VPs and senior VPs, that's where they're staying. They want to be next to where the action is, right? There is no better place to actually commit corporate espionage or an assassination than in a hotel. It is the best. I don't recommend either one because those are bad. Those are bad things. Remember the kittens. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if I was going to kill you, don't check into any, Motel 6s anytime soon because, hypothetically, that would be bad. You know who I'm talking about, Kenny. Okay, sorry. But okay, so yeah, so you want to check out those hotels. It's like you want to check out who those hotels are because that's where you can implant and compromise the hotel Wi-Fi. Because the employees are going to be using the hotel Wi-Fi. Everybody uses the hotel Wi-Fi. Why do you use the hotel Wi-Fi? Okay, I'm not judging, just a little bit. Okay, so here we go. So you go through and you check all these places, and so now I know those kind of information. But I want to get, and you're like, say, Jason, that's boring. What does that have to do with actually going after the building? Hold on, bear with me. One of the other cool things about an office building is they need to sell office space. Well, how is a potential client, that's the word, going to actually understand what the office space they can rent? Do you know one of the most prized possessions of a bank? Not the vault, the blueprints of the bank. Because the blueprints tell you where everything is. It shows you where the weaknesses, it shows you where the wiring, it shows you where the camera, it shows you all that information. Those are very prized possessions. It's like Ernst & Young considers themselves like a bank because they're security and they got to take it seriously. So they're not going to have their blueprints lying around because that would be dangerous. 5 Times Square, on the other hand, they're trying to sell office space. So sure, would you like to download the building brochure or the floor plans? And I'm like, yes, I would. Thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance. So, and when I'm talking about blueprints, I mean the blueprints. So now I have a floor. So this is what's so important is because this is the concourse floor plan. I don't really care about that too much. But right here, this is the lobby floor plan. And one of the things that gets me is, why would I go through the lobby? You got security guards in the lobby. They're not nice. They get paid to be mean. It's like, I don't want to, and they're rude too. I don't want to deal with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to circumvent the lobby. And how do you do that? Do you see one of the big differences about these blueprints? Nice, highlighted in yellow. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. You don't need to worry about this right here. That's nothing. That is nothing. There's nothing to see here. This is not the access you're looking for. This is exactly the access I'm looking for. Here's the freight elevator. Here's the docking, the loading docks, and where the freight elevator is. That is exactly what I'm looking for. That is exactly where I want to go. I know so many different times I've been on engagements where people are trying to go through and circumvent the lobby door, and I'm just whistling in the freight elevator on my way up to their suite. It's like, it is so much easier, because who wants to do it hard? It's like, try harder? No, try to do it easier. That's so much more fun. Oh, Ernst & Young's blueprint areas. These are all based on how the Ernst & Young's office would be set up. So now I know where the conference areas are. I know where the employees are. I know what doors are accessing from these areas. And you're like, Jason, I can't see anything in those dark areas. How can you even tell there's something there that's of use or of value? And I'm like, you're right. That's the place I'm interested in, though. It's like because of the two reasons. One is for assurance. If I'm walking through your office and you see me and you're like, I think he looks sketchy AF. Because let's be honest, I always look sketchy AF, okay? It's like you're gonna say, maybe I should stop him and ask him where he's going. And when you do, you know what I'm gonna say? Oh, I'm going straight up this hallway to the left where the electrical closet is. And you know what? That is where the electrical closet is, because I have the blueprints. Or I'm going to the main conference room up there on the northwest corner over there. It's like, I got to work on their internet. It's like it's running slow. It's like, I'm like, oh, okay, sure, fix that. So that's why that's important, because it makes you seem more believable. It makes you seem more familiar with the location, and it puts people at ease. Oh, not so dark anymore now, because there they are. That 5 Times Square, if you ever want to rent there, it's a great place. They're very helpful. But just don't be a security company. But also, it's like one of the more important ones right here in this dark area over here, you know, that's most likely going to be the mail room. So now I know where the freight elevator is. I know what I'm going to expect when I walk out the doors. So I'll know sort of where the area is. Now, how sophisticated was this? You're not going to hurt my feelings, trust me. It's like, I know. It's like, it's Google, it's like, come on, let me Google that for you. It's like, that's all it is. But this is enough information to give me a way higher chance to break in to the Ernst & Young office. Now, if I only had a little bit more information of what the office looks like on the inside or what their badges look like, that would be way more helpful. Yes, it would. That's where social media comes involved. If you want to know why security people drink, it's like you always look for a company's website. It's like on Instagram, their name or their location. I did not Google just anything random. Ernst & Young was so nice, they put a location beacon in their office. So you can actually tag their office on Instagram. Thank you. Thank you, Ernst & Young. That was convenient. So now I have all these internal pictures, and I have employees. I have their names. And I know they're social media active, right? You know, they're trying to get viral on Twitter or Instagram. So they're, look at this gentleman right here. He's very photogenic. I mean, he loves the Insta. You should check out his Insta page. Make sure you like it. Come on, let's not be rude. Okay, give him a couple likes. I did. I gave him a few hearts because some of those pictures were awesome. And then you also have locations. It's like you never know what you're going to get when you actually look. Because I broke into a place once because their architect took photos of their whole entire office, because they did a renovation and they did some painting. So I knew as soon as I walked in how to turn left to go to the break room and sit down. Always, and this is something I'm gonna give you for free. This is a secret tip they don't like you knowing. Whenever you're robbing a place with a contract, whenever you're robbing a place, the first thing you do once you break in is you find the break room and you sit down and you either take out a snack bar that you have or steal one from their vending machine or on the little thing, because that's even funner, and then get a drink of water. Do you know why? Because as you are breaking in, your adrenaline is racing. You're doing something that you know is a no-no. And so your adrenaline racing, you're all hyper aware, and that is something people can pick up on. As soon as you eat and drink, your body subconsciously understands you're no longer in fight or flight mode. And then it relaxes you and it calms you down. That's why, it's like having a bad day, have a Snickers bar. It's like you take that little bite, it's like you eat a little bit, And it's like, there you go. Your body knows to say, okay, I don't have to panic. I don't have to look like I'm scanning everything. It's like I can take a break and then finish robbing people. How sophisticated was my attack again? Literally. That was how I attacked them. Having pizza at a Panera Bread on my gaming device. I'm presenting on this device right here. It looks like a switch, except for the fact that it's got an AMD Ryzen processor. It's got 2 terabytes of hard drive and 32 gigs of RAM, and runs Kali Linux really well through a VM. So yeah, not just, I mean, it plays games, don't get me wrong. I play effing games on that thing. It's like I got very bad attention span. So yeah, so it plays games really well too, but it also takes companies down just as well. So that's me downloading all this stuff. And why did I put this picture in there? To justify to my company why I wanted that device instead of something else. No, it's really because of the fact, because I'm in your lobby. Because one of the things I love so much about an office building and a company is they may have a secure gateway in, but they have a nice, wonderful lobby area where you can just chill out, take your time, see what kind of traffic is going in and out, see what the what security guards are like, you know, really know what they're doing or sort of more relaxed. Run a Wi-Fi attack. It's like try to go and see if you can get the badges scanned right there. Just take your time. Lobbies should not be so. Lobbies are made for people to come in, register, and then someone to come and get them and do their business. They're not there to chill. Okay? It's like, that's not really good. So, why did I have this in here? Oh, this was just me trying to be more involved. And I think I switched the slides around because I was doing this and I don't adult very well. But yeah, there's some of the, different kinds of Ernst & Young areas that you have to watch out for. Here's the fun part. Now, if you want to know why hackers and security people drink really badly, search hashtag new badge on Instagram and Twitter. I mean, please, I'm not responsible for when you do, but definitely check it out because I've literally gotten badges off of Twitter and off of Instagram. I still have the Microsoft badge, one of the original ones that I got because it was printed off my friend Teton. It's like he printed it off for me. It's wonderful. The Skydog printed the new version of the Microsoft badge because another employee later, a few years later, shared his copy on the internet. But look at all these wonderful badges. But more importantly, and you got an amazing lockpick village out there you should look at, but ask them about how easy it is to copy a key when you have the photograph of the bits on it, the teeth. I'll save you time if you don't want to go talk to them. It's like you should go see it out of the list. But the answer is yes, very easy. Very easy to make an actual key. TSA, in all their wisdom, it's like they were so proud of their TSA security keys that was keeping Americans safe, is that they actually showed all the TSA keys. Less than 2 days later, everyone can now 3D print their own set of TSA keys. So, you know, Department of Homeland Security, security's in the name. They take it very seriously. You know what their response was? Well, we didn't say it was to protect the people. It's like, mistakes happen. We're not going to change anything. They shouldn't put anything valuable in their luggage. Thanks. I feel so much better now. It's like security. It's like, so now we go, and your thing is like, well, Jayson, if I wanted to print a badge, what kind of equipment, what kind of hardware do I have to have? I mean, do I have to go take this to a lab? Do I have to? No. What you need is the Badgie 100. The only way this device can be any cooler is that they named it the Badgie 3000. Okay, that's the only criticism I have. This should have been the Badgie 3000. okay? Because this thing does it all, except for, what for me, anything except for what's legitimate. And what is so great about it is that it's pretty inexpensive for a company to buy if you talk to them nicely. And also, less than 10 minutes from taking that picture, you have your own badge with your face on it. It's like, that is priceless. Credit cards can't buy that. So let's go again here. I love companies that talk, hackers and red teamers that talk about like, yeah, I did this special scan and stuff, to fingerprint what kind of devices they're using, what kind of technology they have in their office. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I use Instagram because I know they're using ThinkPads, so they're running a Windows environment. Their mobile devices are either iOS, it looks like, and also I know that the different kind of models, it's like you got one person using a Mac, so I got to make sure I got some attacks for that. But most of these IBM ThinkPads. Oh, and I also have a list of some more employees of the company. It's like, so that's how I do my fingerprinting. Another way to do some great OS fingerprinting, if you want to know what kind of antivirus they're using, what kind of firewall they're using, what kind of development tools they're using, don't bother trying to scan them because sometimes that doesn't work very well. And that may alert the client that you're attacking them. No, just go to their job offers on their website, their career page, and they'll be very happy to tell you exactly what technology they're using, because they're going to make sure that their future employees know, we need you to know Cisco ACS. We need you to know the Cisco PIX firewall. Please run from a company using a Cisco PIX. No, sorry, no offense to Cisco. I'm joking. It's like, but when they're using those firewalls, it's like they'll tell you like, we're using McAfee, we're using Kaspersky, we're using all these different tools. It's like, these are the different antivirus we use. And I'm like, thank you. This is the payload that I have to evade. My payload has to evade this antivirus. So I got a question for everyone here. Do you think where you work is more secure from infiltration and compromise than a bank which understands and is aware that people will try to rob it? Now, the key thing I'm going to show you right now is exactly what can happen at a bank. And please, when I show this video, you're going to be like thinking, and I'm going to be funny about it. I'm going to make jokes. I'm going to try to keep you engaged and entertained as you learn. But remember one important thing. I have robbed banks all over the world, from the US to Jamaica to Lebanon to Jordan to Cyprus and a couple places maybe I shouldn't discuss, okay? And I will tell you, I was successful at every single one. It wasn't the fact that the employees were stupid. It was they were unaware. And the companies cared enough about them to give them a teachable moment from me so they would be better prepared when it actually happened in the real world. More companies need to do that. So this video was from the National Geographic show, and I got a buttonhole camera put on me. And so a friend of mine, Darren Kitchen, was nice to find and happened to find, of course, and acquire the video that was unedited. So we're about to watch an 8-minute video of me robbing a bank. And we're going to see, let's just take a moment and see how quickly can you compromise a bank. It's like, because that's got to be difficult. It's a bank. It's like, so let's see exactly how hard that's going to be from someone who has, never been in this office. I've never been at this branch before. And trust me, I'll probably never be allowed to go back again. But still, let's check it out. Now watch this. I don't want to pause it. Now watch her face. Look at that. She knows I don't belong there. She is what you want your employees to look like when someone like me comes in. And here I am. 15 seconds is how long it takes me to compromise your company from the first time I walk through the front door, by the way. 15 seconds. Within 20 seconds, my payload is launching. Under 30 seconds, I've completed the first attack. Are you ready for a 30-second attack? Most people aren't. But watch what she does now. She comes over and she freaking blocks me. She's like, excuse me, who are you? And I'm like, I'm doing a USB audit. I always do USB audits. I don't know what they are, but I do them a lot. I was like, and do you see what happens? It's like, I'm here to do the USB audit. Didn't headquarters tell you? It's like, but I'm still trying to assert myself, because if I was a bad guy, I would stop and go like, oh crap, I'm being questioned. No, I made it more assertive, like, no, I'm supposed to be here. This is what I'm doing. Please get out of my way. She wasn't having it. She did the right thing. She went to the man. You need to talk to the manager. I need to escalate this to somebody who may know. So this is what happened right here. That was the mistake. I told her I'll stand by, and she believed me, and she left. That was the one flaw that led to all this. He thinks that she vetted me because she left me at his door. She thinks he's going to vet me. Nobody vetted me. So I'm telling him I'm going to make the network faster, you know. But what do you need? You can be on a fiber line. Google 1 gigabit to your desktop, and if someone tells you, is the network running slow? Yeah, I think it is. And they're gonna help you with it. So this is what I do. Now I'm actually having him walk me through everything. And I'm like, let's go to the data center first, because I don't know when you're gonna figure out I'm not supposed to be here. That's my trusted agent. I always have them on site. I'm telling him to step back because he's too obvious. Luckily, the manager didn't recognize him, so we were good. And so here we go. Sorry for the butt cam, but it's unedited. I wanted you to know that I wasn't trying to make it look cooler. It's literally the whole full video. And usually when I'm on these engagements, I have all these different kinds of hidden cameras on me. I'm a walking, talking Google streetcar. And there he goes, entering his passcode, which of course I'm not going to look at. I looked at it. And then he lets me into the data center. Thank you. Now I'll be down there in a second. You can go now. And then he leaves me unattended in the data center. Now it's muted, but you would actually at this point hear me go, because I was just sad. It's like, I want my clients to win, and we're not winning yet. It's like, so then I realized, wait, that guy's my golden ticket. I don't want you too far from me. Let me go catch up to him. So I catch up to him. And where does he take me? Because if I would have let him go, she may have come and talked to him or something. I can't let him off by my side. He's got to stay with me so I can control the conversations. I plug it in behind the teller line. And I go to the next one. And check this out. Just how rude. The employee locked his workstation before he left on his break. That's not nice. So I got the manager to go get the employee to log in so I could, keep robbing him. Don't worry, I didn't take marks. I was a little upset with the guy, but I wasn't going to hold it against him, okay? Because he also left his phone there for me. So, and his car keys. So I'm good. Now we're going to go to the vault. If you think a bank, the vault, is actually that big shiny metal thing, that's a lie. The vault is where they do the wire transfers, is where the money changes hands. She is the most powerful person in the bank, not the manager. She's the one that handles the wire transfers. That's her computer doing the wire transfers. And, oh, here's me compromising her computer that is doing the wire transfers. And it's literally in the middle of a wire transfer when I compromised it. And I'm like, I hope that didn't mess it up. Now, if you'll notice, I used Notepad because I'm not trying to compromise them. I'm trying to teach them. It's not about exploitation. It's about education. So I think we're good. I think I've gotten everybody, it's like, including the data center, because I'm literally in shock at this point. But then I realize I'm petty. I mentioned that before. So I wanted to compromise the woman who actually did the right thing, but now I have her manager behind me, so it was way easier to compromise her machine now. I'm sorry, I'm a bad person sometimes. Remember the kittens, only when I'm on the job I try to be this bad. So then I compromised her machine. So now I have 100% in under 8 minutes of a bank. How much recon I did to accomplish this job? 0. And then I'm out. So you're thinking, really? I'm like, really? That's what it takes. And it wasn't their fault. It was because of the fact they weren't aware those kind of attacks happen. If I would have showed up there in a ski mask and a shotgun, I would have had a very bad day. Do you know why? Because they are trained to handle ski masks and shotguns. They are not trained to handle suits and USB drives. That is why the company hired me, was to show them those are the things that can happen. It's like, so we have to give them drills. Employees will do what they're told they should do to keep their job. They will do what they are told to do and trained to do and shown examples of how to do it. You've never trained your employee to look for a subscription link or how to look at it or how to report it or who to call after if they did click it. Then don't get mad at them when they do that. It's our responsibility to teach them those things. It was this bank's responsibility to teach them what would happen if someone tried to come in and do a social engineering attack. That's why I was there in the first place. Let's do another one, because this one shows more about perspective. Because this is what I'm doing. I am trying to be perceived as an internal person instead of an external person. See this lady on the phone right there? I walked in from the public area and I hid behind that column. I didn't talk to her. But then a few seconds later, I walk around from the private side, like I had just talked to that lady. And then I walk straight in. If I would have walked straight in from the public area, there is no way I would have been successful, because they would have seen me walking in from the outside straight into their lobby behind their, they would have gone, no, push the silent alarm. But because I came from around that column and I had paused, like I had talked to somebody, that was all they needed to subconsciously, by human nature, understand, oh, this is someone coming from my safe area, from the internal side, they're legit. I'm never legit. It's like, so here we go. I'm doing another classic. When you're robbing a bank, this is very important to do. Spin in the chair. Always spin in the chair. Because no sane person would ever spin in the chair while they're robbing somebody. But then again, I've never been accused of being a sane person, so we're good. Because she said she was busy working, and I'm like, oh, I know, but I still need to rob you. And I'm just smiling away. It's like, look how adorable, just, oh, and the lady who was on her phone earlier, I compromised her too. It's like, so the key thing was the access. The reason why I got access at the bank before, at the first video, was because the lady handed me off to the manager expecting me to tell the truth. It's like, the reason why I got in on this bank is because of that column right there. That is the only reason why I was able to make it. Because I was out of their sight, so therefore I was being vetted. And then I was able to come in from a private area. So the answer after seeing that is, you sure hope so, don't you? It's like, but you probably know, unfortunately, your company would not fare much better. Who thinks that they would be able to stop me from breaking into their company physically? I love it when I get an honest audience. Thank you. It's like, yeah, it's going to be rare. It's like, it can happen. And I will tell you a secret. When it does happen, and when I do get caught, that's when I get the biggest celebration and ice cream, because that's what I want. I'm not their adversary. I'm their advocate. I'm there to see how they succeed. I'm there to make sure they succeed. And when they succeed before I even start teaching them, that's even better. When you fail to break into a company and pwn them, it's not showing that you're inadequate. It is showing them that they are doing a good job. People like to hear when they're doing a good job. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you feel less, or it shouldn't make you feel less when someone is succeeding. So it's a good thing. But the reason why I was able to get in is because I'm not attacking your network with technology in O days. I'm attacking people using their perceptions and expectations against them. Because companies do not invest in their employees when it comes to security awareness. They would rather spend all that money to invest in technology because they don't trust their employees to do the right thing. And that is where we fail our clients and our employees and our users. So it's all about perception. Yes, this is old, but so am I, so don't judge, okay? It's like, but yeah, you know, the blue and black dress and the gold and white, it's like, it's all about perception. It's like, if I can get an employee to perceive that I am not a threat by just the way I behave, and literally I change my body posture, I change some of the things that I say or how I say it. It's like when someone confronts me or says something, when I walk past someone in a hallway, I am the first person to say hello. The best social engineering countermeasure there is, hi, how you doing? That's it. Because what kind of criminal in their right mind is going to go out of their way to say hello to me? Criminals don't do that, except for the smart ones. No, I'm just, because no, it's like basically you have to understand that. You're doing what a trusted person would do. And I love the naysayers. You know, my haters love to say, yeah, Jayson, sure, you can do all those things because you're not afraid of getting arrested, because you're not afraid of getting caught. And I'm like, do you think criminals think they're going to get caught? No, they're committing the crime because they think they're going to get away with it. What criminal out there is going, I can't wait to commit this bank robbery. I mean, I'm going to serve like 25 years in prison, but it's going to be an awesome attempt. No, you don't plan for that. These motherfuckers are clueless. They're criminals. They're stupid. If they weren't criminals, they'd be in white-collar crime where the real money's at. It's like, if you want to know some smart people, it's like, go to Wall Street. Don't go down to the alleys. It's like, you know, go to where the real crime is happening. Not trying to be too political, you know, but, you know, seriously. And how do I dress? Because it's about perception. Do you know how many days it was between these two pictures? 1. On the first day, I showed up as your company's computer guy. I was a technician. I'm your company's computer guy. So say, who are you working for? Your company. I'm the computer guy. It's like, and I've got, as you can tell, I've got a Proxmart 3 scanner, and I've got video recording glasses in there. And then On the second day, I'm dressing fancy. That's like, okay, don't judge me. I think it's fancy. Don't be looking like that. It's like, so I'm dressing fancy. And this one doesn't have hair gel in, so my hair is lighter, and I've got my goatee. The next day I shaved it, put the gel in so my hair is darker, and I think better looking. It's like, and there I go. But what is the most important thing in this picture? Can you see the key ingredient that allowed me to break into this company? It's snowing outside. It is cold AF out there. It is literally like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I mean, for Kazakhstan, that's like autumn or something, I don't know. But it's cold, okay? It's like really, really cold out there. But in both those pictures, I don't have a jacket. I am freezing right now. When I had to walk 3 blocks where the Uber dropped me off, sorry, Uber, it's like from where Uber dropped me off to walk to the location, it's like I was cold. But once I made myself into the building, what happened? I didn't look like I was outside because I don't have a jacket. People subconsciously saw me walking through their hallways, but I didn't have a jacket on, or a coat. So therefore, I must have already been there. I must have put my jacket in the conference room or in an office or wherever I put it because I'm working there, or I would have a big coat on. If I showed up in a parka, walking through your hallways, you'd be like, can I help you? It's like, no, I'm good. No, that's not going to work. But because I didn't have a jacket on, showing that I was from the outside, I was trusted like I was already someone that was vetted to be on the inside. And I do 3 different ways. I call it my attacker fashion because it sounds cool. It's like, I go in as a WTF, like, what do you think you're doing? This is me trying to hack people as a homeless person, which was, fun. Being someone that was homeless, I was very good for the role. I played it very well. Here's me as a technical IT support person. I've been an IT support person before. I've played that very well. And here's me as a successful businessman. I don't know how well I went on that one. I've never been that. But it's like, but I think I played the part pretty well. I try to imagine what it would be like to be a successful business person. And those are my attacks. Yes, I taped a computer and a pineapple to a piece of cardboard because who would think that the sign was the attack vector? The answer is not many. Well, okay, I'm sorry, none. It's like there's a nice little drop box to go into their closet, and then there's just me scanning random people on the subway because that's not creepy at all. I mean, trust me, it's not the most creepy thing that they've had happen to them in the subway, okay? This was Boston. So there we go. So let's go with my first role, is the assertive role. I don't mean aggressive. That means I'm there to do the audit. That means I'm there to, I'm with an auditor. I'm here to, I need this done. You're not trying to help me. I'm trying to help you, and you need to help me because I don't have much time to play around with this stuff. I've got a suit on. I've got a tie. I'm serious business. And trust me, when the client makes me wear a tie to freaking work, I'm gonna F them up 10 times harder because I don't like wearing ties. It's like that, you want Jayson on rage mode when you're telling him that he has to wear a suit. And it's like, and that's what you get. So, and just because I'm in rage mode, don't mean I don't look classy, okay? This is the business suit of doom. Peter, my tailor in Beijing, custom made these suits and my shirts for me. It's like, and one of the best things about Peter was when I was telling him what I wanted in the suit, his first question was not the sizes or the fabrics or anything. His first question was, are you a magician? And I'm like, no, I'm not a magician, Peter. You know why? Because magicians always say there's nothing up my sleeve. And Peter, I specifically told you I want to put something up my sleeves. So yes, those are two bash bunnies into nice, cleverly tailored pockets in the sleeves of my jacket. Why do I need two? Because I've got two arms. It's like, so yeah, that works for me. And also, it didn't stop there. How many hacking tools do you see in this one? The answer is 3. You've got my video recording pin, my 16 gig USB recording video watch with infrared and high def, and I've got the cable that plugs into it so I can only download 10 gigs of data, which I'm sure is not going to hurt your company at all, right? It's like, I mean, I'm sure your Excel sheets with all your customers' information is way more than 10 gigs or not. So yeah, and I can just walk out with my nice little fancy watch. But where's the other tool? I said 3. Well, that is the reason why I had Peter make sure all my shirts were French cuffed for the cufflinks. Because first of all, I come from a very poor family and I never had fancy clothes, and I always thought the cufflinks meant I was very fancy. So I wanted to make sure all my shirts were cufflinks. But I also wanted to make sure I could rob people with them. This one USB drive is not a drive, it is a wireless adapter. It is a Wi-Fi adapter that I can plug into any desktop, any server. What's on here? Well, I promise you, it's not going to be stuff that I'm going to try to like steal from you. It's only 2 gigs, but that's enough storage space to hold the drivers for that other cufflink for Linux, Windows, and Mac, and also some nice, really choice malware. So I've just turned the computer in your server room or the desktop under your CEO as my wireless network gateway into your internal environment. Oh, that's a bad thing, by the way. I'm as long as we're on the same page, that's bad. So we don't want that. I mean, sorry, I want that a lot, but the clients don't. And when I talk about gadgets, I got gadgets. I remember when I was younger, people used to call me Inspector Gadget, and I'm like, you got to live to your dreams, people. You got to try to live to your dreams. And so now I am. So these are some of the tools that I like to show people that I can destroy them with, and I use 3 of them mostly, but they all look cool, and that looks intimidating, and that looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't really need that many tools to do damage. It's like, it just looks good and it scares the locals. So, yay. So those are some of the tools that I have. The second way that I get in is the passive role. And I don't mean wimpy or timid. That means when I'm gonna come in from the help desk. It's like, if you noticed in the first video, I was playing the assertive role with the first employee because I wanted them to let me bypass and plug in the device. So I was going in as an assertive role as an auditor. But then when I switched over to the manager, I switched over to the passive role. I was with the help desk, and I'm trying to make the network faster. It was very subtle, but it was that change because it was necessary. It's like, and so when you're doing these roles, you have to learn that you have to switch sometimes between roles. And the hardware is great because I can use all kinds of weird things as a technician because users are like expecting you to weird kind of techno gadgets and stuff. So this is what I usually dress like. There's my Microsoft badge. Thank you, Microsoft. I appreciate it. It's still useful. This is so outdated. This is so outdated, this user ID for Microsoft. I have the current one, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No one has ever questioned me on the fact that that is like a 4-year-old Microsoft badge. And so I'm good. And then I've literally broken into a location. I actually broke into a hotel in Malaysia with that very shirt right there. It says hacker on it. Talked to the general manager of the hotel with the shirt, that said hacker on it. I come with warning labels. I always give you a chance. I always try to let, there's always something sketchy about me. I robbed banks in Beirut wearing Thundercat tennis shoes and a DEF CON leather jacket. I come with warning labels. So there's some of the disguises. Well, okay, I call them disguises, sort of, okay? It's like, and here's the equipment. Look at that. Do you know the places you can get with a clipboard? Those things are powerful. Because when you've got a clipboard, that usually means you have a checklist. That means you have a memo or something, right? That's power right there. But my clipboard is more amazing. It's got pockets. Come on, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's got pockets. It's like one of the worst things in Western culture is that, you know, women can't have pockets and men can't carry purses. It's like, I love carrying my purse around town and stuff, you know, because I carry my little device in it and some of the things I need. It's like, because why not? It's like, I do love European culture and this culture where it's like, y'all have those little sling bags. Those are effing awesome. The best way to get a man to wear something in the US, like a sling bag or a small backpack, is you have to call it tactical. So if you go to Amazon and you search for a tactical sling bag, it's like, oh, there's plenty of those because they're tactical and that sounds cool and manly. So it's like, I call it a purse because I got no shame and I don't care. So there's my USB drives in my little side pocket right there. And yes, I do have the word victim on one of the USB drives. And yes, I plugged that into a victim's machine with it showing. And no, they did not ask why the USB drive I was plugging into their machine was labeled victim. But what else do I have? Well, probably the most terrifying weapon that a red teamer can use once they're in your environment. Now, at first, you're thinking about these cables right here, because these are the OMG cables that you can get at Hack5. You think that it's going to be these OMG cables, because in these little sections right here is a microcomputer running a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's like a web server, and it can launch payloads automatically upon connection. It gets power from the machine, so you don't need to even have anything connected to the cable for it to work, with a 5-mile radius to execute the attack. Or you can use Bluetooth beacons. So as your phone, which is a Bluetooth beacon, walks away, it executes the attack. Or if you're like with the new Bash Bunny, the Bash Bunny 2, if you walk away, it erases everything. So there's no evidence. So yeah, those are amazing cables. I actually was walking around with a friend yesterday, and I literally was like, he needed a cable charger. And I was like, well, I have this one you can plug in. But I was being nice. It's like I gave him a different one. So, but those aren't the tools. Those are second best. The most dangerous hacking tool are the envelopes and the red marker. That is one of the most dangerous things your employees are going to face. Because when I break into your company, I'm going to walk by their office, I'm going to walk by their cubicle, and it's got their name on the cubicle or on the office. And they're not there, I'm going to stop in and pay a visit. And I'm going to take a malicious USB drive, I'm going to slip it in the envelope, I'm going to write their name on it, I'm going to seal it up nice and tight for security, and it's like, and I'm going to leave it on their desk. Can you please explain to me, or tell me, please, name one employee in your company when they get back to their secure desk or cubicle and they find a USB drive in a sealed envelope with their name on it, is not plugging that into their computer. Who cares about I'm not Mr. Robot. I'm not that cool. I'm not going to be dropping around a parking lot. This thing's will cost money. It's like, if I do it, I'm going to make sure that it goes right to the person. And let's just say success rate way higher. But don't worry, I have some more tools in there. I have my Wi-Fi Pineapple, Proxmart, It's like I have a whole bunch of other, I got the HDMI screen crab, the land turtle, I have the packet squirrel, I have the keyboard stroke logger, I have my little Wi-Fi get out of jail free card phone, and I have all these different devices I can use to plug in. One of the favorite ones that I like is the HDMI screen crab, because I plug that into your CEO, your executive's monitor, because let's face it, usually it's only the executives that have the cool monitors that need HDMI. Everybody else is running VGA or DVGI because, you know, budget cuts. But the executives usually have HDMI. So you plug the HDMI into one end and you plug the other cable into their monitor. And what does that device do? It broadcasts everything that is being shown on the screen of your CEO to you. And it is being stored, and screen captures are being taken. And your CEO never opens up anything that they wouldn't want public on his computer at work, right? Nothing that would be damaging or harmful for other people to see. Exactly. So that's why, like, how many antivirus software is going to catch that? How many, you know, intrusion endpoint protection places are nothing, because it's not doing anything but letting the signal go through and then just going through this way too. So the OMG roles should not be your first choice, trust me. OMG means that, especially when I've done an engagement, I usually, on most engagements, I will usually do a 3-day engagement for the actual like engagement part of it. It's usually a week long, but like for the 3 days I'm attacking, the first 2 days, I promise you, I'm just trying to be a bad guy. Let's go be bad guys. You know, I aim to misbehave. I'm just gonna do as much damage as I possibly can. On the 3rd day, I try to get caught. I try my best to be as suspicious as possible so the employees will stop me and they will question me. The reason being is you can't do an engagement, it's like, without giving the client a win. Because a server has never gotten upset or decided to shut down because it was infected with MS-0867. And trust me, there's still computers out there that are vulnerable to MS-0867, and that's a whole other rant that I don't have time for right now, okay? But people get upset when you show them all the wrong things they did and you don't give them any positive feedback. So you have to give the client a win. You have to give something for people to look up to, not all the things they should look down on. And that's what I usually look like. Those, yes, I know those are awesome. Okay, thank you. Okay, no one needs to clap about my fashion statement here. I already know. It's like, but I have robbed hotels in the south of France, barefoot, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bottoms, and a t-shirt, a DEF CON t-shirt, and managed to break into a 5-star, it was probably like a 7-star. This was like super, they could only afford to put me into their hotel for one night. The rest of the week, they put me in this dump with this lousy view. It's like, and that's actually a picture of me from the engagement sitting on my balcony, barefoot, in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pajama bottoms. Because that looks pretty cool, and I wanted to take a picture. But also it shows that's what I was dressed as when I got in to their underground facility. Does everybody realize that most hotels have underground little tunnels, and that's where all the cool stuff is, like the server rooms and the employee areas and everything? It's usually always underground. And it's like, that's one of the first places you go there. But you go there as a guest. I broke into a hotel before, went to the bathroom, stayed there for 2 hours, took my clothes off, because I had pajamas underneath the jeans, and I had a t-shirt underneath the shirt, took my shoes and socks off, stuffed all those clothes underneath the sink in the men's bathroom in the lobby, and then I walked out barefoot as a guest. Totally legit. And when I get caught, I'm elevator. Elevator, you're supposed to let me, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be, elevator, let me, parlez-vous elevator. And they let me to the elevator and let me out. It's like, that's how easy those can be. My tools have to be small because I'm usually in pajamas. So it's usually a USB pin with a payload on it, or my nice little rubber ducky to launch codes. So the reminder is, if I do find a way in, and I usually do, let's face it, even if I have to climb up an anti-climbing ladder, because you see how that's an anti-climbing ladder fence. So I just dragged the pallet from about 20 feet over that was by the dumpster, used it for my first part, and then I used their anti-climbing ladder to climb up to the top, because they had to bolt the ladder to something, and they bolt that to the wall. So I used a bolt in the wall, and then I used that little band as a way to get up. Or this is me 7 stories above Nicosia, Cyprus, because the employee said there was no way that I could get into their server room that had a glass window on the roof. It was an office that was on the rooftop, and it had glass, but and they only did sheetrock to go. I'm like, someone could just break through that glass, break through the sheetrock, and get into your server. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. It's like, you can't get in there without being detected. And I'm like, well, if you climb through this window and you go around and climb up the vent, you can get up there. Yeah, but that's a 7-foot drop. Who's going to do that? And I'm like, hold my jacket. And then I climbed up there, and it's like, and then I told them, okay, in my jacket, there's a camera. Take a picture. And they were nice enough to do that, so I appreciated it. But yeah, so an attacker, don't say, I wouldn't do that, so an attacker wouldn't. Because trust me, sometimes you get some that are just a little bit crazier than you, and I'm usually a little bit crazier than everybody. It's like, I'm gonna try it. So make sure your employees know how to respond once I'm there. This is a fake badge. It's made out of printer, made on a regular printer, and on this engagement, I got caught. This was one of the best engagements I've ever done. If people want one of my biggest success stories, it was that right there. Am I running late? I've still got time? Okay. Because I talk a lot, and I'm really excited, so I want to share a whole bunch of stuff and information. So I know I'm going a little bit long, so please bear with me. So how do we do this? We start with the 3 E's. We educate, we empower your employees, and you enforce the policies. You do that with them. The next thing is to remember perceptions. Don't just warn your employees. Show them how these attacks occur, not in theory, but show them real-world examples. As security professionals, show them how they can be attacked. Show them some of the things that can happen to them. Do demonstrations at work and show them those kind of attacks. Interact with your employees when things aren't on fire. If the only time an employee sees you is when they did something wrong, they're never going to trust you. I used to work in law enforcement. I met people on the worst day of their life. Either something horrible happened to them, I showed up, something horrible is going to happen to them. So it's like, it's never a good thing. But your employees deserve better. So give them out bulletins and security updates. Show them that you're trying to protect them. Show them that you're trying to work with them. And do that before an actual incident occurs. So therefore, when you come to them, they won't be suspicious of you. They know that you're there to help. And while you're out there chasing the 0 days, there are 7,331 days that still haven't been patched. Ignore the low-hanging fruit. Start by picking up the fruit on the ground. Everybody keeps talking about, like, we got to secure the low-hanging fruit. I'm like, motherfucker, no, you need to get that stuff right there. You need to figure out how many machines you have on your network. How many people here know exactly how many computers are on their network? Well, okay, yeah, that is another reason why we drink. It's like, that's a problem. But if you knew exactly how many machines were on your network at all times, well, then guess what? You would know when a new one was added, because usually that's mine. So last but not least, create teachable moments for your employees before a real attacker does. And you're saying, Jason, but how do I create a teachable moment? How do I create something that is harmless but will prove a point? And I'm like, well, you hack them. Like I've hacked y'all the whole entire time I was doing this talk. It's like it gives them an impression. It's like, what? Wait, go back, Jason. What did you do? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention I was hacking y'all during the talk. Let's go to it real quick. Hold on. I mean, it's good for me, not for you. Nope, I want that one. Oh, come on. Oh wow, this is hurting my neck. Okay, there we go. I clicked you. Hold on a second. I love the fact that one person figured out what was going on and they dropped off. Here we go. It's taking way longer than I thought. Come on. If it makes you feel better, in less than 7 minutes, I caught 42 people on the RSA security network. I mean, on the Wi-Fi network in RSA, which is where all the security professionals go to learn. It's like, this one was like, I'm only getting very few, and there's a lot more people. Okay, let me see if I can hit the F5 button. There we go. There's the F5 button. There we go. It is just trying to be, that's why I took a picture of it working, because I always know that, demos fail. So let's go back to the front page. There we go. Okay. So I showed, I'm committing a Wi-Fi attack right now. You think that your Wi-Fi is connecting to your access point that you're familiar with, when in actuality, it is connecting to my device right here. I already cleared with the conference goers, the conference organizers. They know that there is no internet going through my device or my computer. So therefore, none of your data is stolen, because if I showed you how I exploited you, you would not be learning a lesson. You'd just be really pissed off at me. It's like, this was for education. This wasn't for exploitation. That's what you need to, oh my God. Are y'all serious? Are y'all like, oh, is that the way you want? I'll take that challenge, Jason. Some people are very brave. Y'all chose poorly. Let's see if I can go now. Here we go. Oh, wait, I see it going to the clients. I've been running it for 2 hours and 6 minutes. That shouldn't worry anybody. I know some of you are thinking that's how long this talk's been, but I promise you it's not. It's like, one person jumped off and the other guy was like, I'll take your place. Okay, the client part's not going to work, and that's like one of the fun parts, so I'm sad now. People, it's not a challenge. I'm not trying to dare you to connect to it. I'm trying to tell you that it's bad to connect to it. Are y'all the kind of, oh, well, these are hackers. So of course, when I say the stove is hot, you decide like, boom, let me see. This is why we drink. This is why if I drink alcohol, I would be drinking right now. I'm going to get off. I'm going to stop now because I don't want to get to 20. Y'all win. You won. Okay, congratulations. Y'all beat me on that one. Trust me, you do not know how hard it is to get me to be speechless or not have anything to say on that one, because I got nothing. So that's very rare. So discussions and questions or several minutes of uncomfortable silence. It's your choice. And here's a fluffy kitten as a thank you. Seriously, I'm done. I've been a very inconsiderate speaker, and I know that I've run long. And so I would like it if you have questions for me. I'm going to be here the whole day, and I'm always available. Anytime you see me at a conference or see me around, you can always approach me and ask me a question, or get a hug or take a picture. That's fine. So out of consideration for the time constraints, I'm going to just not take questions, and I'll be out in the back immediately so we can have questions, and you can ask me questions if you have them. Okay? Thank you once again.